作る
Hello and welcome back to my battle review series that will now be called Gaming Turf War. Here we take similar games and compare their value to determine which game's light shines brighter. This time we'll be comparing Mario Kart 8 to, well, if you don't count Rivals, the 8th Sonic racing game. Convenient that they're both on Wii U. For what little it's worth, the console did have some good racing games. Anyway, same rules apply as before, except the categories this time will be different to serve the genre. For racing games, we have graphics, sound, race mechanics, track design, items, roster, single player, and multiplayer. Wow, this track took no time to set up. Yeah, let the race begin. In 3, 2, 1. Racing games often need to have sharp and distinct visual designs and draw distance so there's no problem seeing what's ahead. After playing every Sonic racing game, it's fair to say this isn't the first time these games have fallen victim to this.
Which way do I go? Oh.
Okay, it doesn't get that bad anymore. Being quite possibly the best looking Wii U launch title is put into question when playing the Burning Depths stage. This stage's draw distance and the lack of color variation makes it sometimes hard to gauge when to start drifting on these really sharp turns. Thankfully, this issue is only really in a handful of stages and Burning Depths is about as bad as it gets. Being the best looking Wii U launch title isn't really saying much since, well, yeah. Not to mention, Mario Kart 8 is a good contender for best overall looking Wii U game. While that isn't saying much either, it says plenty for this battle. Mario Kart 8 is also considerable when compared to the rest of the series, as like Sonic, there have been graphical issues to say the least. With Super having very poor draw distance, albeit not as bad as Sonic Drift, the models in 64 are just booty, and Mario Kart Wii looks admittedly worse than several GameCube games. Graphics were a consistent struggle for this series, so when I say 8 looks good, I mean it. Even more so when you consider the Switch version. It's not just the colorful looking tracks, the HD lighting helps bring these courses to life. That includes the retro courses, which got an entire graphic rehaul to where it'd be hard to recognize them. Sonic's retro courses on the other hand look identical to its predecessor to draw a comparison within a comparison. Mario Kart 8 looks as crystal clear as the point I'm trying to draw. And yes, we're starting off with a steep victory. Just a quick little heads up, there are no ties in this battle review whatsoever. Having said that, we're going from one steep victory to another, but in this case, the victor is on the other side. Sorry Mario, but you have to go into space to even match Sonic in the music category. Sonic games normally have god tier music, and Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed is no exception. The key here is memorability, and this game's soundtrack gets stuck in my head like no other. Even the loading theme helps ease the pain of these admittedly long load times. For the most part, I can hear each theme by just looking at the intro to each track. In fact, I use mostly Sonic's OST for background music throughout this entire video. Helping Sonic's case is the racing announcer, something I'm surprised Mario Kart has yet to do. A race is basically a sporting event, and what do most of these events have in common? There's an announcer or commentator of sorts to keep the audience informed and engaged. In this case, the announcer here consoles you for losing, congratulates you for winning, and makes every call so you have all the information that you need. It helps each course feel like a live sporting event, which gives the game a fun, yet competitive atmosphere. Almost to say it's just a game and we're here to have fun. Still, the announcer didn't really need to exist for Sonic to win sound. We'll ease up on the victory for this one. Still, Mario Kart 8 pretty much played it safe and didn't really introduce much new in terms of racing mechanics. Now before you say anti-gravity, let me just say that I often forget this is even in the game. reason being is because they're supposed to serve as an alternate path, but all these tend to be is just more road you can drive on. It's a great idea, the game just doesn't really do anything with it. Honestly, the stages that have these, you could remove them and not a whole lot would change. Besides, Sonic had already done this 6 years prior, and admittedly better. It's not really treading, or should I say driving, over new ground. The rest is your basic Mario Kart like drifting, starting line boost, and trick boost. With that, let's just say Sonic does all these things and then some. You can change directions whilst drifting, there's 3 levels to drift boost instead of 2, and you have to time it with each number appearance, and you can choose to flip more than once in the air to extend your trick boost, but you have to land right or you lose speed. And this is all before I even mention the gimmick behind the game. Thanks to the likes of Diddy Kong Racing and Wave Race, planes and boats are nothing new to racing games. It's actually pretty rare to see planes, boats, and karts all in one game. However, Sonic takes it one step further by having a transition between kart to boat and or plane in just about every stage. The game often uses this to give alternate paths, and you have to work to reach the other path, as opposed to the game handing it to you in the form of an item, or as I call it, RNG. Fundamentally, All Stars Racing Transformed is for the most part just a slew of fine-tuned mechanics found in other games with its own twist. Not to mention the different feel and control for each vehicle type, unlike Mario Kart where you just drive underwater and control your landing with the paraglider. There was clearly more inspiration and work that went into All Stars Racing Transformed's mechanics, and that is very much appreciated. No, not the soundtrack. We already covered that, you nerds. By tracks, I'm referring to these stretches of land, the very thing that bands the 3 or 7 laps together, and boy does 8 have a lot of those. If we were looking at base Mario Kart 8, Sonic would have had a chance here. The tracks in Transformed are drawn from many different series like Panzer Dragoon, Golden Axe, and Skies of Arcadia, and they're designed well around them. The number of new courses was about the same for both games, while 8 has 12 more retro courses than Sonic does. If we're being fair to Transformed, they really didn't have a lot to draw from in terms of the retro department. That said, they could have taken stages from the other Sonic racing games like Riders, R, hell, throw in a Sonic Drift 2 stage. Still, they wanted to stick to All-Stars, so in that regard it's a pass, since they probably didn't want to go through the trouble of translating from a previous racing game's style. And then we have the DLC, which basically became free with Deluxe. While I normally say quality over quantity, Deluxe overlaps Sonic's 20 courses in pathetic 1 DLC track, that it almost doesn't even matter just about every track is well designed and from various Sega franchises. The variety in the courses almost saves the package, but compared to a game that has more than double the amount of tracks, it doesn't compare. Regardless of the new base game mediocrities like the pathetic excuse for a Rainbow Road, it's made up for with the nostalgia trip. The retro courses made various updates to their tracks to match the current mechanics we have now. Sherbet Land is possibly my favorite with my nostalgia for Double Dash and having an underwater segment as one of the few alternative paths in the game. There's just too much here to where Sonic just comes up short, and that's really all there is to it. Yep, this is a whole category, as I have a lot to say about this one. But to start off blunt, Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed handles items worlds better than Mario Kart ever has, except for Double Dash once again. You really are the best Mario Kart. Let's go down the laundry list, shall we? Green shells are too slow and they never hit anything. Red shells have too much tracking and never miss anything, unless you have a counterable item. Coins offer next to no help and can be received in even last place when you need to catch up. There are too many catch-up items that serve almost the same function. The blue shell does fuck all for the person who threw it. The blue shell requires specific items to avoid. Bloopers really don't affect human racers. Bob-ombs hurt you as often as they help you. Let's see how Sonic handles these problems. Firework and ice are fast and can actually be used for precise aiming. Drones have good tracking but are slow and can be avoided with a simple drift. No coins or useless items. All-star moves are your main comeback item and the effect varies from character to character to help give them an identity. The swarm affects everyone but the person who used it. The person in first place will have the hardest time dealing with it, but it can be avoided even without items. Hot Rod, which I swear I heard the announcer say Time Bomb, is basically Mario Kart Wii's Cloud done right. The only real difference is that you can release the Hot Rod yourself. Seriously, who wants a power-up that can hinder you? Forgive me if I sounded salty, but that's been on my chest for years. Skill will always be better than luck for competitive games. Oh no, Mario Party, you're fine. Not you. I will give Deluxe this. The multiple item slots somewhat fixes the coin issue since you can still grab another item. Still, same score. Mario Kart should really count itself lucky I'm using Deluxe for this, since this base roster is ass. Where do I begin? No Diddy Kong, no Bowser Jr., too many babies, pink, gold, peach? Do I have to do another everything wrong with? Well, no, since Deluxe did add Bowser Jr., thank God. As well as the DLC characters, which included characters from other Nintendo franchises like Zelda, Animal Crossing, and Splatoon. So, good on them. Let's look at Sonic's roster. Right, let's see here. 7 Sonic characters, and good choices. Various different Sega characters from Alex Kidd, Super Monkey Ball, Shinobi, Golden Axe, Knights, the list goes on and on. That's not even to consider the guest characters like Wreck-It Ralph and real-life race car driver Danica Patrick. Oh, and let's not forget the Spy, Heavy, and Pyro as DLC if you're playing on PC. What's scary is that Mario Kart has an overall bigger roster, but a good percentage of those slots are wasted. Looks like this time the quality comes out on top. On top of that, I've always had an issue with Mario Kart's lack of character identity. None of the characters really feel all that different from one another. It's as though there's only really 3 playable characters, light, medium, and heavy. All you really do is put a face on the cart. Transformed is saved with this from the previously mentioned All-Star move and unique dialogue. With characters from multiple different franchises and even forms of media, where the characters feel unique from one another, Mario Kart just got ran over. This is probably the most clear-cut and easiest category to explain overall. The only single-player mode in Mario Kart isn't even single-player exclusive. It's just the Grand Prix. Yes, I say pre, you pricks. And if we're stretching it, online. Sure, these courses are fun to go through, but it grows old racing the CPUs on any CC. A mode that never gets old, on the other hand, is Sonic's World Tour. Here we have a career, so to speak, where you take part in various races with more rewards for higher cleared difficulties. Need I mention different kinds of races? These include regular laps, drift games where drifting within these walls gives you more time, traffic jams, and boss battles. Oh, there's boss battles? You mean there's boss battles in a racing game? What am I playing right now? I mean, even DS has these, but 8 does not. To prove this isn't a big deal though. Mario Kart 8 is more multiplayer friendly anyway, to a point where I'd still have to pick the original Mario Kart 8 over Transformed, since there were at least more people to play online with, and the game is a bit easier to pick up and play. That said, however, let's not forget original 8's battle mode didn't even have battle arenas, they just resorted to the tracks, not helping this mode stand out from normal racing. But that's the past, and we have arenas now, even if they should have been on the Wii U version. Sonic's multiplayer modes are fine and can prove to be exciting, but there's really nothing here that Deluxe doesn't have, and even if there was, you're likely not going to have every character since Riala and Aegis pretty much require F-Zero GX level racing skills. Christ, game, you do have a good learning curve, but we shouldn't need to ace the exam to unlock every character. On surface level, the multiplayer is about the same for both games, but given Mario Kart's superior online with actual people to play with, an overall more user-friendly learning curve, and not requiring any hoops to jump through, It's no wonder they wanted Deluxe on Switch as soon as possible. You can just boot the game up, and there you go. Looks like the best Wii U racing game came out early, when it was believed to be the appetizer before the main course. I guess this game was the tastiest set of boneless wings and mozzarella sticks you've ever had. Then your steak comes out medium well when you ask for medium rare. When you look at these two games from all these different perspectives, it's very easy to see just how safe Mario Kart 8 played it, and it seems to just get on people's good sides and critically worshipped just for being Mario Kart. When you look past all that, 8 is just a basic kart racer with Mario characters at the wheel. Now that I think about it, I'm kinda glad they didn't bother with guest characters. However, that's not to say that Mario Kart 8 is worthless, as it did take a victory in graphics, and oh man did it deserve that one. A small win in tracks for having nearly 50 of them, and a win in multiplayer, helped by having most of the characters unlocked, and having more to do in battle mode. It's an easy kart racer to just pick up and have a fun time with friends. Sonic, on the other hand, had a big win in sound and roster, both playing into character individuality, winning in mechanics and items for just being deeper and acting more so as skill rather than luck, and has more to offer in the single player component. With that, it seems that Sonic managed to beat Mario in something. Mario Kart 8 is not a bad or even mediocre game. In fact, I would say this game is quite good, and it's not hard to have fun with it despite its flaws. I just can't shake the feeling that this game's flaws get shafted. I'm looking at you, IGN, and what to play. Seriously, higher than Ultimate? I can't even say that about Sonic over here. But what I can say is that Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed is in a tier right alongside Diddy Kong Racing. It's basically the closest we'll get to a game that feels anything like that N64 gem, which also got overshadowed by a Mario Kart game. At least Transform got overshadowed by a good game. This has been Tsukiyomi, and to tell you the truth, Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed was the last Sonic game I enjoyed until Mania. As such, I've only really had this game alongside Generations to chew on, in anticipation for the day where I'll enjoy a modern Sonic game again. It's a wonderful racing game that will always be first place in my heart. Now let's make this a good 30th anniversary, Sega.